Hi guys, Puddin here with the game for you, my Tier 8 U.S. battleship team, infamous North Carolina. Now, my captain skills are priority target, jack of all trades, adrenaline rush, basics of survivability, basic fire training, which I just got, AFT, and of course concealment. Now, my modules are protect my main batteries, DAMCOM 1, DAMCOM 2, longer shooting AA, and of course more concealment. This is pretty much my standard build for my U.S. battleships and even my high tier Japanese ones. I may swap out accuracy for AA, but I just like that longer shooting AA. Now, as you can see, I am divvied up with husband Lord Zath, and we are top tier. And you know me, if you're top tier, I'd like to have my presence felt. But of course, considering he is in a carrier, the enemy team obviously has a carrier. I forget which one it is. It is the Japanese. Sorry, I had to check that out real quick. So, my game plan is to work the 1-2 line. On this map, I pretty much will work the side that I'm on. Like, if I would have spawned more by the AB side or C, I would try to work that a little bit more than the 1-2 line. And if I was the southern spawn, it would be the HI line and then the 9-10 line, you know, reverse. I just find that this map, in particular, is if you just are able to work your side and work it effectively, you will succeed more times than you will not. Now, of course, with it being carriers, and you just remember I had a North Carolina, not a Yamato game with an Midway. I'm still in the mindset of I just need to stay alive long enough to let Zath do his thing. But of course, you know, the dog's upset about that, and he's going to let us all know about it by barking. Now, I see the Pensacola, and I'm going to take shots, obviously, on him just as he disappears. He is Pensacola, he is broadside, but that gentleman actually played that ship extremely well. I.e., he pretty much, spoiler, survived till the end. Now, I am targeting these planes for my AA. I see the Konigsberg behind the island, but I noticed right before he disappeared, I could get a shot over. So I'm going to pop my fighter at the last possible second in hopes of the tour planes. Take a shot in on the Konigsberg, who is bow on. You know that by looking at the minimap. But I slowed down for two things. Maybe get more shots in on this guy. I followed the shots in to see if I could see where they would land to where if I had to just aim. But like I was saying, I was slowing down to support the other battleship, the friendly Byron, with my AA. I have great AA. I spec very heavily into it with the US. So grouping up is going to help, especially keeping my AA alive, which is why I'm playing a little bit more reserved. I know my AA alone can decide the air battle if the enemy carrier wants to be a little frivolous with his planes. Now, the one thing that makes the North Carolina different than the NC, different than Iowa and Montana, is its shells are a little bit slower. So you do need to give a little bit more lead. This ship is a great upgrade from the Colorado in the way that you are learning how to play high tier games, and 9 times out of 10 you'll probably be bottom tier anyways. But it's still an excellent brawler. You don't show your side, you won't have to worry too much. Now, as you can see, I'm trying to get as far south as possible, and I'm shooting at cruisers, unless battleship is showing me full broadside, then I will try to punish them. But I'm trying to shoot at the cruisers first, because it does two things. Well, it does several things, but it kills the enemy's DPM, and it takes away their defensive fire, which is going to help out Zath. Of course, the British cruisers don't get it, but it's still a cruiser at the end of the day, and he's fairly easy for me to just, overmatch and just, kaplow the poor gentleman. That is, I get a nice citadel on him. Now, if you notice, nobody's died yet. We're roughly 6 minutes into the game. We have a one cap advantage. While we don't have C, we are contesting it, and we are flipping it to our side, but it is being contested right now. Take a shot in on the Bismarck, who I failed to see was reversing. Was really the only thing for me to shoot at. But, you know what, I'm starting to use my F3 keys a little bit more. But if you notice, I immediately switch to the cruiser. I can delete a cruiser faster than I can delete the battleship. Number two, I believe Zat has AP bombs, so he can delete that thing faster than, well, anybody. I noticed he popped his smoke, which means he slows down. Zat dropped his bombers, and on the cruiser, I don't want to say why, but we're just going to say he dropped them on the cruisers for science. But he only dropped one, which means he's bringing the second two in on the Bismarck. What I had told him was, you know what, don't worry about the cruiser. I should be able to finish him. I just have to reload. And then he said, science. I'm like, okay. But if we pause the action right here and just kind of take a look at the mini-map right now. Now, what you can see is we pretty much lost the battle at sea. While we've only lost 2 ships, they've lost 1. Sea is pretty much a lost cause. There's 1 cruiser over there, and I hope Mr. Frenchie has his speed boost on his running for his life. Ziyad has been slowly moving up with us. The Byron that I tried to help out earlier, it looks like he's trying to use the island and take shots on the guys at sea. I have pushed south, and I'm starting to get a little bit too south away from these caps, but I don't exactly want to go deal with the destroyer because they have the DD advantage. Now we have a Pan-Asian destroyer left, which means there's no way in the world he's going to be able to torp them. He might be able to gun them down, but as you can see, one of them is an Ognavoy. So that's going to be a tough battle for him to win. As the dog completely agrees with me. Now, I am pretty much, I have conserved my health fairly well. We have a New Mexico, Bismarck, and Nogado. Now, New Mexico, Bismarck are both low health. I'm not too worried about the Nogado, but I'm more worried about the DDs. We are losing the B camp, and what I'm going to try to do is with where everybody's positioned, mainly their, with their battleships kind of being on the HI and J line, I want to draw them away. So I'm going to kind of kite these guys in a position that possibly put myself out of position to greatly help the team. Now, you know what? I have 15 seconds to reload. It's plenty of time for my turrets to turn. We need to get rid of DDs. He's going behind the island. I let Zat know. I said, hey, I'm not going to get a good shot in this guy because I really can't see him. I might as well try to take a crack at the Fubuki, because I can actually see him. Which means I would have a better chance if, God forbidding, I aimed correctly, actually hitting him. Now, I did target the aircraft, and if you can see, because I haven't taken very much damage, or more specifically, taken HE damage, my AA is able to just chew up through this guy's planes. Now, I am with 10 kilometers of a Bismarck, and his Nuremberg's on shooting me, which kind of makes me suspect he doesn't exactly have a secondary build. But this is what I'm saying. I'm starting to turn to get into a kiting position, and I will kind of slow down. But what I want to do is, just in case his secondaries were shooting at something else, I want to get a distance between them. Now I see the Nagato's turning. I can get all of my guns to bear on him, but I decide, you know what? These aren't going to be the best shots. You know, I quickly kind of looked at the other situation. I'm like, well, those shots aren't going to be any better. So I just maintain an angle and take shots in on the Nagato. And I do a nice 9,000 damage. As we lose, as we are down 2 ships, but these ships over here are not too healthy. I'm going to focus on low health targets. I noticed this Bismarck is not actively looking at me. His secondaries are going bonkers, which means they are probably on the destroyer. So luckily for me, this guy turned to give me enough side to finish this guy. I am making my turn with the thought that the only person looking at me is the Nagato, and he's not going to be able to get a good hit on me. I noticed these tour planes were potentially coming in. I do believe I did click on them for my AA, but I am kind of turning in towards these tour planes to make this push to regain the caps. Now, if you notice, we are losing, but we are in a decent position to actually hit these guys and hit them hard. What I want to do here is actually slow down, pause the game, and just go over what I'm thinking. You kind of hear me of this never give up attitude. We are technically down 200 and something points. We don't have the ship lead. We have an AFK Cleveland, if you did not notice. They have 2 DDs to our 1. At this point of the game, AA is going to be a premium, which luckily for me, I do believe I saved a lot of it by not taking HE rounds. But it is definitely time for me to start making my push, and my presence felt even more. These guys were... I want to say the enemy team was picking on the lower tier stuff, not dealing with the bigger threats and to them and to their fleet. I.e., they kind of let Zath kind of go in, get some cheeky damage. I finished off what Zath couldn't. I'm still alive. We still have a DD alive. I do believe our Byron in New Mexico have some very good health. Our DD is actually getting the cap. But what I'm going to do is try to focus on things that I can potentially kill with one shot, or that give me the best shot. Now we're going to get back into the action. I see the carrier and I'm like, you know what? It might take 2 salvos, but if I can chunk this guy really good to where maybe somebody else can finish him off, great. It's going to give us an advantage. The other thing is, the carrier is worth the most points. We need an advantage. We need points. This gentleman's bringing in his dive bombers right over me for whatever reason, and I get a nice citadel as I am just going to chew up this guy's planes. I didn't even have to turn because I noticed right when I flew overhead, there was only 1 plane left. And here's Pensacola that I did say, you know what, this guy played well. He stayed alive for a long time. And that is a sign of a good player. So if you see that, you know what, you need to focus him down. Now, unfortunately, my shells all came up short, but I have bigger problems right now. I have a New Mexico, I have a Bismarck, and I have a Nagato in front of me. I tell Zath I can take care of the New Mexico and the Nagato, but there's no way I'm going to be able to take on the Bismarck also. I'm going to end up, if I keep pushing, showing some side, which is why what I'm doing is, you know, what is called bow tanking. My bow is to the front of them, and I am reversing. I'm not the biggest fan of this, but you know what? It has its place, and it has its uses. Xanth manages to finish off the Bismarck for me. Now, the Nagato kind of has a health advantage on me. Not anymore, but he's not in a good position. So, like, the whole time the advantage was really in mine. This guy's constantly trying to get his rear turrets in play instead of just staying angled. In 90% of the ships, if you can shoot your rear turrets, you're showing too much side. There are a few exceptions, but I'm not going to go over that. As I get a nice 12,000 in on the gentleman. You know, as he was turning, looks like the enemy carrier is trying to keep his at spotted. But I do have help in the situation of the New Mexico, and thank God the gentleman is shooting AP. He might have missed, but at least he's using the correct ammo choice. You know, that's as I just completely whiff on my shot. But that's the thing, in this situation, I know this guy was turning to show me side. I am showing so much side because I can use my rear turret. But I'm aiming for the front of his ship, as I still managed to bounce some stuff because he aimed at the belt. Instead of aiming at my citadel, I'm still aiming for underneath this guy's gun turrets as I do another 10,000 damage. Now, I did click on him for my secondaries, even though they're not going to get some sort of bonus. But at this point, I see he's turning in. I know his front guns are reloading. I'm going to make my turn out to get back towards this cap. Our Turpitz is on the cap, but he's not going to survive. He is by himself. I'm sure I have actually lost some AA at this point. But it is still American AA, and it can withstand some beating. As I finish off the Nagato. Now at this point I was kind of paying attention to, you know, kills, you know, because they did get Confederate high caliber. I did see that, you know, we had a North Carolina, like, you know, we're really going to have to kill everything. I noticed that the Konigsberg was low health, the carrier's low health. The Pensacola that's still alive is low health, but what we don't know is where the heck this DD is. Now, if you were paying attention to chat, somebody said already, you know, GG, like they've gotten the win. I see the Konigsberg. I need to take the shot. I need to finish him off, or I need to put him low out to where this Byron can potentially kill him. But luckily for me, I do get him. Is I managed to lose 2 AA. And that's why I'm saying about I really didn't lose much AA because there wasn't much HE slung my way. Now I am targeting the planes to make Xanth's life easier. Now I had failed to see that the enemy carrier had actually started his reverse. I thought he just ran aground. And this is where those lofty shells kind of come in and bite me in the butt. If they were a little bit faster, I might have been able to get in on him. But luckily for us, Xanth finishes him off. I noticed that I was on 4 kills, and I actually typed in the chat, can I please kill this Pensacola? Then Xanth pointed out, hey, you know what, I can get this guy spotted. I'm like, I can't get a shot in on him because islands are OP and they need to get nerfed. But he's like, I'm going to go find this DD. If somebody takes the shot on the Pensacola, doesn't get it, you'll have a shot on the destroyer. Right there in chat is where I ask. I don't normally do this, but I didn't get a Kraken today. And I was like, you know what? There's no harm in asking. I did end up complimenting this friendly Byron for saying yes. Now, I don't know if he has a shot, and I'm not going to mess around with trying to find out. But all I know is this. He didn't shoot, and he said, sure, you know, take it. Try to get your Kraken. And I did send the gentleman a compliment. I did it after the game. But I kind of wish I would have did it here so you guys can see. as I nail the Pensacola and get my Kraken unleashed. The friendly Byron says, "Nice job," and I thanked him for that and for letting me get the shot in on him. Now I heard New Mexico shoot at the DD, and let's add though, this guy's shooting. And at this point is when I noticed the Cleveland was AFK. I should have hit Control X to have my guns facing the other way. But, you know what, I wasn't sure if the Byron was going to be able to get to him. Take a shot. Zath like, screw it, just go for him. I'm looking at the Cleveland and I can't believe he's AFK. I'm going to turn in, obviously, force of habit. Want to deny the enemy camps. But when these shells come in, actually, as soon as these turrets turn, I'm going to take the shot. Zath is keeping this guy spotted. And I'm kind of joking, no, I'm going to kill steal on you. Tired of you always kill stealing on me, Mr. Husband. These shots come in, he dies, and now we're going to check out the post-battle results.
Enemy destroyer foundered.
I hope you guys really did enjoy this video. I hope you did learn a little something about preserving your health, knowing when to make the push, and just overall knowledge of pretty much what you're facing. The reason I try to preserve as much of my health in AA as possible is because we had an equal terror carrier in the game, and I have very strong AA. I also preserved enough of my health to easily finish off the ships that my teammates were so kindly to help put on low health. While I may have gotten big damage number, those only came from 2 or 3 ships. But I was able to help my team when I needed to push in, trade my health for ships. Knowing when to do that is what separates good players from bad players. I hope you, like I was saying, I hope you guys really did enjoy this video. I hope you did learn something. Remember to, we do appreciate all the support you guys do give us. We love the replays you send in. The email for that is in the description down below. Please remember to compliment good teamwork, good team play. We are quick to report, slow to compliment. And I hope, please hit that like and subscribe button, and I hope you guys have one heck of a great day.